Clark Teuscher's time is next here on the Cardinal Report. Clark, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
We start with a spring team near the top of the CCIW, Jim Kalawiak's softball team, currently in the midst of a 4-game win streak, the most recent doubleheader sweep over North Park.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of doubleheader victories. A series of errors and some other mistakes that allowed North Park to stay in the game. Typically a team that North Central doesn't have too many problems with. Some unnecessary drama, but they got out of it okay, and I'm sure the next few days will be interesting for the infielders in terms of some defensive drills of practice.
But, you talk about some defensive struggles, but the offense has really been getting it back on track lately. 15 runs in those 2 games. It's been the middle of the order doing the job. Laura Whitfield, Lauren Schramm really getting it done in those 3 and 4 spots. Yeah,
Whitfield is obviously the cleanup hitter and does a lot of the damage. Lauren Schramm's been very good the last few weeks. She was certainly a key part of both of the victories yesterday. So as long as they can keep the runs coming and they can shore the rest of it up along the way.
Sticking to the summer games, Cardinal baseball finished a hard-fought series with Carthage, one of the big rivals, obviously a nationally ranked team, and nearly come away with a series win.
They nearly came away with a sweep. Yeah, it was all the games came down to the wire. 2 of them went into extra innings. Each time it comes down to the team that makes the fewest mistakes, and unfortunately for 2 of those 3 games, that was Carthage. So they've got to get back on the horse Wednesday against Milliken, and then a series against Elmhurst over the weekend. So no time to get down. They've got to keep going.
And you talk about those 4 games, teams that they really should be able to take care of and, achieve some consistency. As somebody that's there nearly every home game, what's some things that you're looking at this team that need to improve on to get a little bit more consistent?
Well, some of it is they had to make a switch. Peter Romanello, the shortstop, went out with a thumb injury and is going to be out for a significant length of time. And in order to keep the requisite amount of offense in the lineup, they had to make some moves and put some guys in new positions. Nick Daniels moved over to shortstop from third base. And Hector Bellin, who was a 2-time junior college All-American at first base, is over at third base now. So you got a couple of guys who are in positions that are pretty foreign to them. I think as they play more games, they'll be able to kind of get used to the things you have to do, in between plays and while the plays are going on at those positions where you have to cover and where you have to be. So I think that'll be a big part of getting things squared away. And then there's a couple of guys banged up on the pitching staff. If they can get them healthy, things should be all right.
Starting to get comfortable for sure. A team that really is comfortable. They men's track team took the indoor Chicagoland title. They make it a sweep with the outdoors. Another big victory. Performances really from anybody and everybody.
Yeah, pretty much across the board. They haven't had quite the number of national qualifying performances that maybe they wanted to. A lot of guys are really close in different events, running events as well as field events. They've got a bit of an oddball schedule this week. The Wheaton Twilight Invitational, which is typically a pretty good meet for us, was moved from Saturday to the previous Wednesday due to some expected weather issues. So in order to give those athletes the best possible chance to achieve some of those marks, they'll move them up to Wednesday and shorten the week a little bit and see if that helps.
And the Cardinal women track athletes take home a Chicagoland sweep as well, a 4-point victory over Carthage at the outdoor meet. The javelin, really a big event that brought home quite a few points.
Yeah, the top 3 places in the javelin throw. It's been a very good event for us. Brianna Tolliver was the winner. She was a provisional national qualifier last season. We'll be looking to make her first trip to nationals in that event this year. Obviously a very quality performance. It's the first time they've won that meet in a couple of years. So certainly they're very happy with how they're progressing as a team, and we'll have to see how well that carries over into the meet at Wheaton.
And the women's lacrosse team continues Midwest lacrosse play with a couple of tough losses last week, including a 1-point loss to rival Carthage, but a good job to fight back and get one against St. Joseph.
Yeah, they lost close matches in conference play to both Carthage and to Trine. Followed it up with a pretty impressive victory over a Mount St. Joe's team that they were playing for the first time. They're put themselves in a position where they basically have to win their last 2 conference games in order to make the conference tournament. The first one of those is Wednesday evening against Concordia, and then another the following Wednesday against Fontbonne. So it's pretty clearly defined, the challenge in front of them, and we'll see how well that plays out.
How big is it for them to have been able to get Amy Frazzini back after an early injury? I know she led this team with 41 goals last year.
Yeah, she missed a large portion of the early season, and it was kind of like cutting the heart right out of the team. I mean, she's been kind of every game that they've ever played in the program's history, she's been at the middle of everything, making it go. And that was a large adjustment that they had to make and move a lot of people around and adjust some responsibilities. And now that she's back and a couple of games in and kind of got back into the flow a little bit, I think they're going to finish the season pretty strong.
The football team going through spring drills right now, but a couple of details being set for the fall season, adding that 10th game.
Yeah, the schedule's finally complete now. They've added a 10th game, September 10th. It'll be our home opener against Bethel College out of McKenzie, Tennessee, which is an NAIA program that North Central's never played before. So certainly another challenge. The first two opponents of the season will both be pretty foreign opponents, so a lot of prep work to be done by the coaches before we get to that.
And quickly, I know the North Central men's golf team hosting conference championships at Crest Creek, the rounds 1 and 2, expecting a big performance out of Nick Guido, I imagine.
We would hope so. Our team plays on that course quite a bit. So you would like to be able to take advantage of the fact that you're playing on what basically amounts to your home course.
Well, Clark, thank you for the insight as always.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you giving us a part of your day. Join us next week as the men's golf team joins us to discuss the CCIW championships. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope you can make it.